Hello there, and welcome to Almost Solitaire. We are today continuing with some Commands and Colors engines, and today we're gonna play a scenario called Carrhae 53 BC, the battle close to Carrhae. It's not really. I mean, we don't see the city on the map, but we are close by there, and we are in. I think it's today Syria. And this is quite a famous battle, you could say, or in Roman eyes, and very infamous battle. A consequence of this battle was that the most wealthy Roman of all times, I would say, Crassus, Marcus Licinius Crassus, the consequence of this battle that is he was killed here, not during the battle proper, but in the aftermath of it. So the thing is, Crassus, Pompey, and Julius Caesar had this triumvirate thing going on, right? And both Pompey and Caesar had some great military victories. Crassus kind of lacked that, and he wanted that. So, and also the guys had kind of divided. Kind of the world regions among themselves, like Caesar being up in Gaul, doing the conquest there, and Crassus thought he could take on the eastern part and conquering the Rome's enemy, the Parthian kingdom here. So that was his aim. So he started to prepare for that campaign. Gathering up, it said seven legions here and 4,000 cavalry. I think I read somewhere that many of those legions were really kind of green, quickly or recently raised, I would say, and not very battle hardened. And so he also had actually an ally over in the east, Armenia, and the king of Armenia, he did, he proposed to Crassus that Crassus would go to Armenia, join up with him, and they could together conquer the Parthian army and kingdom. To be more sure about the campaign. But Crassus was kind of struck a bit by hubris, I think, so he wanted to go there alone, and he chose a path through the deserts of Syria. Probably it was the shortest path to the capital of the Parthian kingdom, but also it was a difficult path because of the heat in the desert there. I read somewhere also that Pompey had been campaigning over in the east previously, and he had a trusted scout, an informer over there, who gave him very valuable information during his campaigns. I read that Crassus used the same guy for his to get some tips before this campaign. But the thing is, that guy was at that point, paid by the Parthians. So he was really on the enemy side. So he suggested to Crassus that he would take the path through the desert, which became the Roman army's doom here. So he really much led the Romans into the clutch of the Parthians. Now, as I said, Armenians were also enemies of Parthia, and the king of Parthia had to decide how to do this, because he knew at that point that there was a rather huge Roman army marching towards him. He also got the information, I guess, about the composition of this army, right, and knew it was mostly foot units. So what he did was to divide up his own army, sending most of his foot towards Armenia, keeping those guys in control and making sure they couldn't, join Crassus and his army. And then he took one of his generals, Surena, and gave him pretty much all the cavalry. A lot of, as you can see here, light cavalry. We have a huge amount of light bow cavalry and some heavy cataphracts here as well. And he sent those out to meet the Romans. And I think also the first, or the primary mission for the Parthians here was pretty much to delay the Romans, right? They wanted to first win over Armenia with the kind of the main army, you could say. And then when Armenia was done, they could turn on the Romans. So this is pretty much a delaying force, keeping the Rome out of the Parthian kingdom as long as possible. However, this turned out to be the perfect weapon against the Romans at this point. Of course, the Romans were really exhausted at the point when they reached Carrhae, and they had been misled by the scout I talked about, and they didn't have probably really enough water supplies and all that, so they were thirsty, they were exhausted and all that. And then came the Parthians. Okay, the Romans just wondered what's going on. Is there going to be a battle here or not? What's this? It kind of impacted on their morale, at least. And then they saw this light unit starting to harass them, just firing the bows against them. Crassus ordered his army to create a huge kind of square formation, and trying to keep shields outwards, so to not get harmed by the bows. But I think they managed to here and there hit the foots. It's always some point or part of your body they could hit, and they did. So if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere actually that they have found Romans with leg injuries, pretty much. They can see, probably, I don't know if it's a archaeological excavations done, or where they got this information, or maybe it's a relation from one of the participants here. But the Romans got really hurt by the bow units, closing in, firing their bows, and then going away. So if the Romans tried to charge them or attack them, they just evaded all the time. Okay, but the Romans still held on to this plan to keep this square, because they thought, okay, they're firing these bows, but they cannot have unlimited ammunition. I mean, each bowman don't have that many arrows for sure. But they also they did a miscalculation, because Surena, he brought with him quite a huge kind of a supply train, right? So consisting of camels. So they have huge stocks of arrows with them. So they could continue with this, wearing down the Roman army bit by bit. So Crassus got a bit anxious, and, he never stopped, really. So he told his son, Publius, who is located here on the right-hand side, to take the cavalry and to try to pin down or chase those harassing forces off, right? Best would be if you could pin them down, and then the Romans could attack them. So he took the cavalry, he attacked. The Parthians did, of course, evade. I mean, the light bows did. Publius did continue with the pursuit, and went a bit too far. Suddenly there appeared some heavy cavalry. We got 3 units of heavy cataphract horse here. So they got attacked by those, and probably surrounded also by these bow units. They were, you know, on all sides of them suddenly. I think they went up to a hill then, and up there they got attacked several times, and in the end they got, of course, defeated, outnumbered, and exhausted, thirsty and all that, tired horses and all that. So Publius was killed, and they took his head and brought it back to the main Roman army again, where Crassus were, and they showed Crassus his son's head, right? And these had a really big impact on the Roman morale. They started to waver everywhere, and I'm sure also at this point also the cataphracts started to attack, crushing these big square as well. So the Romans got more or less slaughtered here. Just a few managed to escape this battle, and Crassus himself, he was killed in the, this said that he, let me see now, here it says, during the negotiations following the night, Crassus was treacherously captured. Surena had heard that the Roman commander thirsted for wealth, so he had Crassus executed by pouring molten gold down his throat. I also read somewhere that actually there was some fighting starting during the negotiations, and at that point Crassus was killed. And later they poured these molten gold down his throat, but at that point he was already dead. But I'm not sure, and I don't know what's the truth behind these stories and the versions of the stories, really. But anyway, a disaster for the Romans, and a great victory to the Parthian horse army. That was really just a delaying force, right? But they managed to destroy a 7-legion Roman army. Quite a feat. So that's the story behind it. So let's look at the war council. So we have the Parthian army with 6 command cards. They will move first, led by General Surena. We have the Roman army led by Marcus Licinius Crassus. They get 4 command cards. We'll fight the 7 banners. Then we have 1 special rule. Marian legion rule is in effect. Heat and thirst had reduced the mobility of the Julian legions in Crassus' army, hence the more restricted mobility of the Marian legions rule for this scenario. So we would have otherwise, you know, Julian legion rules, meaning that medium heavy infantry and also the heavy infantry down here could move 2 hexes. Now they can only move 1 because they are exhausted and thirsty. So that's it. Otherwise, as you can see, we don't have any terrain considerations here. It's just a big plain, probably dry desert terrain we are fighting over here, and there are a few special units here, we could say. We have the light bow cav here of the Parthians. They work pretty much as light cavalry, but they have a 3 hex range of the bows. Then we have these heavy cataphract cavalry units, 3 of them, and that's pretty much the same as heavy cavalry proper, but they also have the exception that they can ignore the first sword symbol when attacked. So that's all, I think. Anything else here? I don't think so. So about the army compositions, the Romans really have a much bigger army, and that's, I think it's as in history. Actually, the Parthians were outnumbered here, but they just had the right troops for this battle. The Romans couldn't really catch up with them, so even with a smaller army, they could defeat this big army. So we have only horse units in the battle. I feel that this could be something that could, though, be a bit bad for the Parthian armies, because in the Ancients deck, card deck, I mean, many of the cards are really, aimed at foot. It's more foot focused system, I think. I mean, ancients. Commands and Colors in medieval is kind of the other way around. But you know, we have many cards with only infantry type units ordered, like the double time or line command, right? So getting those cards will only order one unit of the Parthians. So, but on the other hand, we have mounted charge and order mounted units as well. So yeah, maybe it balances it out anyway. So let's look at the Parthian army. So we have 3 heavy cataphracts in the back line here, and each of them have an officer with them. And I think this guy in the center is General Surena. Then we have 2 units of light cavalry proper here, and then we have a big line of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 horse archers. That's it. The Romans then. Well, we have Crassus here, we have Publius over here, and we have this guy is, I think it's named here, let's see. Yeah, it's Cassius is this guy's name. So it's quite a good army. We have loads of legionaries here. I mean, in a normal battle, this would be a really deadly force. But now I'm not so sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of medium heavies and 1 heavy. I mean, in any other battle, this would be an excellent force. It might be here as well if we can manage to lock some of these into close combat. Then the Romans can hit hard, of course. And remember, they also have the Pila function. One other thing is that we have pretty many light infantry in the Roman army. We're not used to see that many. We have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And I think that the reason is that they have also with them, I mean, besides the 7 legions and the cavalry, we have, you know, more local troops from the eastern regions here, more light troops. And I think the heavy here is probably some more a veteran legion or something, units from a veteran legion. Then we also have some medium heavy cavalry over here, and with Publius, and 2 light cavalry as well. And this is the force that Publius charged these light horse to harass them, or pin them down rather. But you know, yeah, as I just told, you know, the fate of those or that charge didn't go that well. So for any tactics then for the Romans, then I mean, the thing we need to do in order to win, we need to cover more or less the whole board, and we can do that with such many troops. I know, slowly just grinding forward and making it sure they cannot evade, and then we can start killing them. And on the other way around, for these guys, they won't like to see history repeated, right? So they just want to fire all the time, wearing these guys down slowly but surely. And when we see some ripe targets, we charge with the heavy cataphracts and destroy them. So that's the plan. And we also need to try to keep all the town to be able to evade when attacked. So that's what we have. So let's start, and we start with the Parthians, and they have, as I said, they have 2 cards more than the Roman hands. We have an extra in slot A, an extra card in slot D. So we're going to see what we have in A and B then. So we have a line command. That's the thing I talked about, right? This is not too good of a card for those guys. They can only order 1 unit with that. These are foot and light. Okay, this is really good. They can move, fire, and move. Excellent. And then we have a 3 units left card over there. Let's see what they can play. That's an E or lowest order count. So that's a counterattack. So that doesn't make sense. And these are tactic cards. So we're gonna start with 3 units left. I think that's good. So we are over there then. So what I think I want to do right now is to bombard these guys. So I'm gonna just order these three, not move, just fire. So let's start with the guy on the flank. 2 dice. We're needing light hits. Nothing there. Second one. There's a hit and the flag. I think it's good to get these guys to retreat because we don't want to get fire against us, because these guys retreat 4 hexes, so we don't want to get any 2 dice attacks where they can roll a double, a double flag. Then we need to retreat off and start losing blocks. But now we managed to get these guys out. So these guys then, they're gonna fire at let me see now. Let's take these guys in the center. 2 dice. Another flag. He's not supported, so he needs to take it. So he goes there. So that's the first turn. We go over to the Romans. C, D, or E. Oh, we're gonna see these 2 first at least. We have double time and 4 units right. And then we have a C, D, and E. We have light troops. We have a mounted charge. That could be cool for Publius later. See if we can repeat these stuff. And then we have a coordinated. So I wonder if we would bring up some lights and start pouring in some javelins. Maybe we should. Let's do that. I mean, maybe the best thing to counter their harassment forces is to harass them. So let's take lights. So that would be, hold on, 4 of them. So let's see, who can move up and battle? These guys can battle. These guys can move back and battle. These guys can also reach the enemy. Let's take 1 more from this flank as well. So let's take, we also have, we could take a light horse, but let's wait with those. Let's just bring up those guys as well to be ready. So these guys will move here. They will throw their javelins. We bring these guys up here to throw some javelins. These guys will not reach the enemy yet, but they're gonna move up, and they are now supported, so it will not be that easy to push them back. That's it. So let's see now. Let's start with the guys on the edge here. So a 1 die attack against that one. That's a hit. Good. And then a 2 dice attack, same unit. And another hit. Wow. Great skirmishing by the Roman lights here. We have another 1 die attack to do. And let's take that guy just in front of us. Can you believe it? Another hit. The dice are on fire today. Okay, and then we replace the C slot card and go back to the Parthians. D or E. I mean, a counterattack would have been great right now. I mean, the light troops, that would suit these guys very well. Okay, we have leadership any section. Good. Heavy troops, that would be good later. And 3 center. So the leadership card or 3 in the center. So we cannot, if we take the leadership, we can move back that guy, but let's do this. I'm gonna take 3 in the center, and I will fire with these 3. So I'm gonna try to get rid of those lights now. They are though supported now, but we're gonna fire at them. 2 dice here. Nothing. Same target. Nothing. And same target from here. flag, but they're supported. They're gonna ignore that flag actually. Okay, no good rolls there for the Parthians. Romans. C or lowest order count. Order mounted or a coordinated attack. I think I go with a coordinated. Reason being, I can't get that unit now because I can order that from my left, this from my center, and then let's bring up another one here. So I'm gonna move these guys up. So we have this supported cluster here, like here. They are, I mean, with the lights on front, and then we have these two counter any charge from them. So let's start on this flank against that we already hit once. So a 1-die attack. Flag, he will ignore that, he's supported. Here then, 2 dice attacks against that lone unit there, and we got the hit. Good Roman rolls. So we got the first banner to the Romans, a bit unexpected perhaps. We have another one, these guys. Let's start with the next unit in the line. And another hit. They are really good throwing these javelins. Okay. The Romans are coping with the skirmish part of the battle very good, I would say. Already destroyed one unit and starting to wear down the others. And they have gotten 1 hit themselves so far, so really good. Parthians then. A, B, or C. Line command, that's 1 unit. Move, fire, move. Maybe that would be something. 3 in the center or a counter attack. I don't want to play the counter on that card. So let's see. Move, fire, move. We could move up 6 units. I don't have to move, you know. So let's see now. I think I'm going to play that. And I'm just going to continue firing as much as I can. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm still going to put my trust in this skirmish ability. So let's target this unit from here. 2 dice. I mean, I will not move any units. Now I got the hit and I got the flag that the Romans could take. I know we're going to get fired at least twice if they don't move. But if I move, if I go here, I'm out of range. There's no panic yet. Let's stay here. Next one, same target. Another flag, I ignore that. Yet 1 unit firing at those. Another flag, ignoring that. These guys cannot reach those. We're gonna continue with these guys. Nothing. Second, same target. Nothing. Bad rolls. And the last one, same target. Oh, bad rolls. Romans are better at this. So, not too happy about that. We got 1 block out of, let me see now, 12 dice, I believe. Not good enough. Back to the Romans. Another C or lowest order count. So we have this or 4 units right. Or order mounted. If we play the 4 units right, we can continue with our successful Okay, let's play 4 light. Or right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These guys just rides up here. This guy goes 1, 2. And then I'm gonna do some fire. Let's see if Romans are still lucky with these skirmish rolls. Let's continue with that unit that's already been hit. A flag, we ignore that. Second, same target. Another flag, but no hits. Then we have a 1 die attack. Let's take the guys on the flank. A flag, but we can ignore that as well. Parthians. A or B? Okay, we have 2 line commands in the slot A now. Bad. And then we have 3 in the center. We will continue here. Firing away. Here to here. Flag. Romans will ignore it. Here we got the hit. Now I might take the next flag I get, because now it's starting to get a bit dangerous. I could even get charged by these guys now. So 1 more fire to do, and that's a flag, and this time the Romans will retreat. Okay. So yeah. Just a big line firing away. By the way, that was 3 in the center. Romans. D or E. Mounted charge or 3 right. I'm gonna still play 3 in the right because I'm gonna wait with the mounted charge until I get at least these guys as well up there. And it would be nice to get these guys involved, but I'm not sure if I can do that. But I will play 3 on the right and continuing my firing. Here, here, and these guys will also ride up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they will do some javelin throwing. Here I'm gonna fire against that wounded unit there. And there's a hit. Oh my. Are we smelling another victory banner for the Romans? Another fire with 2, or throw rather, perhaps. Here's a flag. I cannot take it because then I lose that flag. I need to go 4 hexes back, so I need just to stay here and be strong. I might need to switch positions or something. Maybe that would make sense to avoid these guys throwing more at me. Then we have a 1 dice attack to do on the flank. And that's a miss. It's a red one. So here we go. Yeah, I think maybe I'll take a break here. I mean, it's not much really happening. It's all these guys just throwing everything at each other, all using all their ammunition and whatever they can find to fire at the enemy. And still, even though it's really skirmish heavy over there, the Romans have got the better out of it. I mean, they have lost 3 blocks, but they have achieved to get 7 blocks from the Parthians, including 1 whole unit, giving them the first banner. So that's what we have seen in the first part of the battle here. Let's see. I mean, the Romans would be really happy also to get up the troops. They would probably have been more happy with getting 2 line commands because they could have steadily moved forwards 2 rows at a time. And these guys are likewise not too happy getting these, because yeah, they can only order 1 unit with those, which sucks. Maybe that could be more useful in the end game when we need to find and track down some weak unit to charge with any unit on the board, you know. But for now, these cards are really bad. But that's it for now. So let's see how it goes. The Romans are in the lead, but we have, you know, this game goes to 7 barons. So we're gonna see quite a lot of more action before this is over. But anyway, thank you folks for watching, and hope you will be back for part 2 of the Battle of Carrhae. Bye for now.